Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Fly Like an Eagle podcast, Week 9 edition. We are facing the Los Angeles Chargers as Justin Herbert, my dark horse to be an MVP candidate at the beginning of the year, is coming into Lincoln Financial Field along with Austin Eckler and Williams, wide receiver. Dynamic trio right there. They're 4-3 right now. They're up and down. Kind of surprising to me, to be honest with you. But with that said, last week, what the hell happened? Let's look at that game. I had that as a lock to lose that game. They went into Detroit, a place where they got shellacked a couple Thanksgivings ago against Megatron, Matt Stafford, you name it. Still not a good franchise, doesn't matter. But my God, the Lions are bad. The Lions are a really bad football team, and it would not shock me if they lost every single one of their 17 games. But I want to point out the fact that, I was wrong this week. I'm a man. I admit when I'm wrong, and when I'm right, I don't get any credit still, so it is what it is. But, what they did in this game, it was pretty self-explanatory. They ran the ball with success. They didn't have Miles Sanders. They had a washed-up Jordan Howard that, let's be honest, didn't look washed up at all. Boston Scott did his thing. And, they just played like a resilient team on Sunday from wire to wire. And, it's weird because going into this week, I had this down as a loss against the Chargers, but now I'm thinking differently. I'm thinking to the point to where the Chargers are losing games where they shouldn't necessarily lose. And, this Eagles team is still hard to figure out. And the reason why I would say that is because last week I had them dead in the water, a top 5 pick in the NFL draft next year. But now when you beat a team by that much, and I'm talking that much, all right, you're no longer in talks of being one of the worst teams in the league. You're just not. That's just not how it works. And I'm always honest. I'm honest when it comes to the nitty-gritty. I don't like Jalen Hurts as a quarterback. I still think he stinks. He did what he needed to do to win that game on Sunday. Running for, I think it was 9 times for like 80 yards or something like that. He got us in the best positions to win. The defense balled the fuck out, turnover after turnover after turnover. And I just feel that, going down to the stretch, like our schedule works in our favor. Now, I'm not going to say that we're going to make the playoffs or anything like that because I'm not a flip-flopper. I don't flip-flop to that extent, But if they do win this week, I will be kind of on the cusp of saying that I was wrong about this team just because you play a crappy Detroit team and then you come home with riled up fans somewhat, and you beat a team that was supposed to be there in the end in the Los Angeles Chargers. And to me, if they beat this team, that wild card's not so out of reach. The division's out of reach, let's be real, but the wild card's not out of reach anymore. The only thing that concerns me is Jalen Hurts. That's the only thing that concerns me at that point, because they're talking about getting Russell Wilson for next year already. They're like completely putting Jalen Hurts on the back burner. It's weird. It's a weird time to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan. But with that said, I'm going to stop yapping my head off. What is up, Zach? How you doing tonight?
I forgot I was doing a show with you. You were on a pretty good rant to open up the show. First thing I got to say is shout out to Team Vegas. What we said about 2 weeks ago, whatever happens, good, bad, or indifferent, stay in Vegas. And it looks like that crappy play calling stayed in Vegas for at least 1 week. Mm-hmm. And that was the epitome of what happened against this Detroit Lions team. We decided for whatever reason, we're going to dedicate ourselves to the run. We're going to shy away from the RPOs and call more designed runs, something that I've been calling for a while because we want to pick on Jalen Hurts for playing hero ball during the RPO calls. And I said the best thing to do is have the coach, who calls the plays, take it out of his hands by calling designed runs. And that's exactly what happened against the Lions. They got going. And this is the kind of games that I expected to see from the Philadelphia Eagles, not the blowout victory, but how they play, the gritty play, controlling the clock, running the ball, having Jalen throw, between 15 and 20 times and having him run, 5 to 10 times with his legs, but really having the running game control the clock and control the field position and really help Jalen Hurts open up the field. That way, the throws are a little easier. He's still got to make the throws. Now, did he play otherworldly? Absolutely not. Did he miss throws? Absolutely. And he didn't even throw the ball that much. But this is the kind of performance that I expected from this Eagles team and how you win with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback. You're not going to blow out teams 44-6, but you control the clock. You make it manageable. You make it third and short where you don't necessarily need to throw the ball every third down. You can run on third down. And that's exactly what happened. And it turned out to be a pretty good game plan. And guess what? We're looking forward to the Los Angeles Chargers game. Guess who has one of the worst run defenses? Let's see if this trend continues. We know the front office doesn't like you to run the ball, but are you going to listen to them? This might be your only shot at being a head coach, Nick Sirianni. If you're going to go out in your way. Run the damn ball. And this is another weak run defense. It's perfect opportunity to attempt to do the same thing that you just did and run the ball. And I know Miles Sanders isn't there, but you have capable backs. Jordan Howard is a young, capable back. You have Boston Scott, who I don't even want to talk about fantasy football because only for the Philadelphia Eagles can you go from a second-string running back to a fourth-string running back. I decided to go with Kenneth Gainwell in my starting lineup with a bunch of injuries and bye weeks, and I got killed.
Yeah. I mean, Boston Scott, we all know him. He's a hard worker. He's that gritty running back, but he's not good enough at least my mind, he's not good enough to be your consistent down back. Mm-hmm. Like he's not consistent enough, in my opinion, to be your every down back for 17 games, let alone 16 games. So, I mean, he played a good game, yeah, but Boston Scott, he's like the Energizer Buddy. Once you think he's dead, he just gets right back up. It's just how it happens. And Kenneth Gainwell, I love how everyone in the preseason wanted to anoint this guy the next Brian Westbrook. And that's what makes me laugh at the fans a lot because they literally have no clue what they're talking about. They want to turn garbage into gold, and it just doesn't happen. Kenneth Gainwell stinks. Out loud stinks. And there's a reason why he was a 5th-round pick out of Memphis. He's not a good running back. When you rely on somebody, when you make someone the feature back and they fail miserably, especially against a Detroit Lion team, and you never want to run with them again, it's time to hang up your cleats, to be completely honest with you. And I'm not trying to be harsh, but I just I know players immediately. With Miles Sanders, a lot of people want to say he's going to be a great back. He went to Penn State. He's the next Saquon Barkley, maybe better than Saquon Barkley. No fucking way. Miles Sanders is a stiff. You saw in Boston Scott. You saw in Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard is ancient. He's ancient as a running back, and he performed twice the level that Miles Sanders has this year. Miles Sanders, he's another one that needs to hang it up too. I think Miles Sanders stinks, and that's why Nick Sirianni didn't run him. Nick Sirianni was waiting for the right moment to call his play calls, and he trusts Jordan Howard and Boston Scott. He didn't trust Miles Sanders, and that's what it comes down to. Now, when they start running the ball, Nick Sirianni's game plan actually looked like it worked when they ran the ball. But now we're seeing that maybe Miles Sanders wasn't his guy. And a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, you wait for Miles Sanders to leave, and now you run the ball." Well, there's a reason for that because maybe he didn't trust him, And if his game plan works this way week in and week out, it's gonna be interesting because when they run the ball the way they did, and they have Jalen Hurts run it the way he does consistently and throw those short passes, it could fool some people. I'm not saying that we're gonna go on a run and win a Super Bowl. I'm not gonna do that. But what I am saying is our game plan looked on Sunday. I don't want to jump the gun, but our game plan looked top 5 in the league on Sunday when we ran the ball successfully. It was weird. It was just weird. I didn't even watch the game. I listened to the game. It was just weird hearing Merrill Reese and Ike and Mike Quick just in awe. They were just in awe of it because our game plan was so successful. I don't care if it's the Detroit Lions. I really don't. This is the Detroit Lions were a team that almost beat Baltimore. They almost beat San Fran. And they've had really tight games this year. And we made them look like they were garbage. Like we made them look like they were an 0-8 team. That's what you're supposed to do. If you're a good team, you beat the bad teams. We didn't only beat the Lions. We obliterated the Lions in their own house. So I don't know, Zach. I don't know. Like, as an Eagles fan, I tend to do this every year. I want to go to the playoffs so bad, even if our team is not very good. I just want playoffs after Christmas because it's a great Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I see Jalen Hurts, it makes me come back down to reality. If we had someone like Russell Wilson, I'd be like, oh, I'm all in. I just don't think Jalen Hurts can get it done to that extent for us to make a run.
I agree 100%. Jalen Hurts is a competitive guy. He's everything you want in a franchise quarterback other than producing on the field. And we've talked about this multiple times. Ultimately, he's got to get it done, and he has not shown it. Can he still improve? Absolutely. But right now, he still hasn't shown it. And the best game plan to plan around Jalen Hurts to win football games is exactly what you saw against the Lions. And that's exactly what they need to do moving forward. This is what I've been asking for since week 1, even with the Falcons game where they put up over 30 points. I asked for them to run the ball consistently and use Jalen Hurts' legs in advantage with the run game, and it helps open up one another. And this offense could look a little better. It's going to help out the defense. You're going to control the clock. You're going to control the field play. There's a lot of good things that could happen when you game plan this way and scheme around the strengths of Jalen Hurts instead of continuing to put him in third and long situations, a guy that's not accurate enough to pinpoint passes in third downs and third and long situations. Everybody can be a good passer. The thing that makes passers great is when everybody on the field knows that you need to throw the ball and you're still able to make a good throw and complete the pass and keep the drive going.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything you said. We got a super chat with Jerry Mejas 999. Thank you so much, buddy. It helps the channel a lot. Sandals is why we almost came back against Detroit and Tampa Bay. Detroit tanked. Now, listen, you have to understand something. A blind squirrel finds a nut eventually. I say that saying a lot. Miles Sanders is not that good of a running back. He's just not. I mean, you see Tampa Bay's game. They're up a lot, then they lay off the gas pedal because they feel like they've got the win. That's consistent with Tom Brady in a regular season. He's a postseason quarterback. Once he gets to the show, that's when he really turns it on. But when he's killing a team in the regular season, nothing else matters. He could win the game by 3 points. He won't care as long as they get the W. That's just how Tom Brady is. They could have just kept stepping on our throat. But he doesn't want to. That's just who Tom Brady is. That's who he is. Miles Sanders, you could say whatever you want to try to sugarcoat it. You could say whatever you want. Miles Sanders is the reason why we almost came back. No, the reason why we almost came back is because Tom Brady let off the gas pedal. That's why we almost came back. Miles Sanders, he has those games where you think he's going to be good for the future, but then 2 games down the road, you realize what he is, and he's just not very good. We want consistency. Miles Sanders is not consistent enough. And I'm sorry for all those PSU students and fans out there, but it's the truth. But yeah, thank you for the 999 super chat. Go Sixers. Are they up? I saw they were up by 18 and they were losing. Kind of pissed me off. What do you guys think about adding Allen Robinson in the offseason? I mean, is he still good? Because basically it seems like he fell off a cliff. Zach, can you tell me anything about Allen Robinson?
Right now, basically, he's complaining that Matt Nagy didn't give enough first-team reps to Justin Fields, so they're not on the same page right now. But, everything looks like he's still got it. He just hasn't had the same connection with either Andy Dalton or Justin Fields to be able to produce on the field anymore.
Right. So that would be a no for me. the offseason, I would go after someone with like a Mike Evans if he's available. That's someone I'd want to go after personally. I don't know. I think Devonta Smith's going to be good in this league. Obviously last week he dropped a pass right in the beginning of the game. It could have killed our momentum. And I, as much as I want to say he's going to be great, like I think Devonta Smith's going to be great. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that you're playing a really bad team and your head's not there to the point to where you just drop an easy pass and Jalen Hurts put it right on him. And it's just, I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like players of that caliber should never really drop a pass. You see Larry Fitzgerald. He has like career-wise 22 drops. That's absurd. But Devonta Smith, this is a guy that won the Heisman Trophy as a wide receiver. You don't expect him to drop passes. The only thing we were critical of going into the season was how skinny he was. We didn't expect him to drop simple passes, and he's been kind of doing it a lot this year. Like there's been times in like the San Fran game where he dropped a go route. Like it's just things like that. Like I'm not saying that he's gonna be bad, but what my expectations for Devonta Smith were and what they are now, they've kind of flipped because I don't know what it is. It just feels like he's got bad juju or something. He comes here, he wins the Heisman Trophy. He's playing with a guy he played with at Alabama, and then he just doesn't look the same. And I could be like jumping the gun again, but this is a guy that if you look at film, he gets open every single play, like almost every single play. And the times where he is open and the times where the ball is thrown his way, you're expecting him to do something with it. And that's not really been the case. So I don't know what Zach feels about that, but to me, it kind of sucks because you're going to hate this. I think Kadarius Toney looks better than Devonta Smith right now.
I mean, you can say that. It doesn't make it true, but you could say that. I think the thing we keep forgetting is that so often does it take a while for wide receivers to adjust to the NFL level. Not everybody's going to have a Justin Jefferson type of rookie year. Not everybody's going to have a Chase type of year, a Jamar Chase type of year.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to remember the kind of offenses that those two are in compared to the kind of offense that Devonta Smith's in are completely different.
Right.
And things that Devonta Smith are being asked to do are completely different than what Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson last year was asked to do. So you got to remember that not many wide receivers come into this league and light it up their rookie year. Yes, there's been outliers. Yes, there's been the OBJs, the Justin Jeffersons, the Jamar Chases. But too often, more than not, do you see a first year wide receiver have a good, not great year, and then the next year really take that next step. And I think for Devonta Smith, you're going to continue to see him get better. And then towards the end of the year, you'll finally see, hey, he was a first round talent. You can clearly see it, and he's progressing along nicely. Next year should be his breakout year.
Right. No, I agree. I mean, maybe I'm jumping the gun like I've said 3 times a show, but I don't know. Like there's just some things where I have high expectations on. Like obviously Jalen Rager, when they drafted him, I loved it. Then he hasn't come to fruition. Now Devonta Smith, he looked great to start the year. Now he's just kind of like fading away. It's just, to me, it's just weird, bro. And I just want these players to be perfect, I guess. And they never turn out that way for me, and it just sucks, And I don't know. It's just one of those things. I hope he's not bad. Well, not bad, but I hope he does work out. I just don't know because it's just like you need to get into your own head. Well, you don't need to get into your own head your first year because your first year is so critical to your learning depth when it comes down the road. And I just don't want him to fuck up his motion. I don't want him to fuck up his rhythm in his rookie year because going down the road, it only gets harder, especially when you get film on the wide receiver. So I don't know. It's just I'm flabbergasted by the whole situation personally, especially he's probably dealing with that whole Ruggs thing emotionally because that's one of his best friends from college. So that's going to be weird to see. Well, not weird to see, but that's going to be something to look at going down the road, see if his game falls off a little bit. And I don't know. I really don't know. It's a weird situation right now, especially with Ruggs going what 156 on the Las Vegas Boulevard, crashing into
Yeah.
a lady in a Prius. Like that was nuts. Apparently the lady got trapped inside, and she died. Like she burned alive. It was pretty bad.
And don't
So
forget the
yeah,
puppy too.
yeah. Smith was roommates with exactly. So that's something I'm gonna look at going down the road because when you're best friends with someone, especially on the team, it can impact you. It really can. So that's definitely going to be something to see. But guys, we are 21 minutes into the show. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and share it around to your friends and family. We're going to open up the phone lines very soon at the half hour mark. I just want to ask Zach his favorite question. What are your predictions for this week, and what's your score?
Oh man. Why? Every single week, continue to come on with you and you keep asking that question.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you right now, the team that scores more points is going to win this game.
Right.
That's exactly my prediction. Can't be wrong. No, but in all seriousness, this is a winnable game. This is a game that I thought, like the Las Vegas Raiders game, where I could see us winning. I could also see us getting blown out as well. This is a game where, as long as the game plan works, you have the right game plan. You play your game and you play to your strengths as opposed to the other team's weakness. This is a game that you should be able to take. Once again, you're going against a weak run defense, and you take a look at the top teams in the league, running the ball consistently has led to success for many of the top teams in the league, including teams like the Arizona Cardinals and the Ravens and the Bills and teams like that. If you run the ball with continued success, it's always going to give you a chance to win the game. Now, defensively, the run game isn't much to look out for, but I will say Austin Eckler catching the ball out of the backfield, that's something you definitely need to be on the lookout for. And then you got two big guys at wide receiver that you need to look out for, especially Mike Williams, that really has come on this year and has been something special that many people expected him to be when he came into the draft. So you have two big bodied receivers that can go up, high point the ball, and you have a running back that can come out of the backfield. And how often do we see, now Eric Wilson's not there anymore, but one of the linebackers get put on a shifty running back and we get burnt this season, let alone seasons in the past. So that's something we need to look out for defensively. On the offensive side of the ball, it starts with run game and work the play action pass. If you're going to help Jalen Hurts, work the run game, RPOs, when you can trickle him in, you don't base your run game on the RPOs. And really, play action pass is probably Jalen Hurts' best friend. You freeze the defense for a moment, hit Dallas Goedert over the middle on the sideline like he continued to do last week. I hope to see more of that. That's a big bodied receiver that he can hit. And then hope to get Devonta Smith involved early. A couple easy passes, maybe a screen pass here, a slant there, end around there. Try to get him involved, to get him a feel for the game, and hopefully that will help progress and open up the field on the offense. But it starts and finishes with the run game.
Yep, I agree. Nitro and Zach, been watching QB highlights. Who would you take out of Riller, Coral, and Pickett? Out of all three of those, probably Coral. I mean, he's playing in a tough conference. He won against some top upper echelon schools. Pickett, I think he's fool's gold. He's going to Pittsburgh, and he just became good this year as a senior. So I'm not gonna say fuck him because I don't know him as a person. Like fuck you, like I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, out of that group, I would take Coral. I mean, obviously the guy from Liberty, I'd take a look at as well. But out of that group, I'll take Coral.
I like Desmond Ritter and I like Matt Corral. It's a tough call for me. I'd take Matt Corral only because he's played in the SEC. He's played tougher opponents. Yes, he's had some bad games, but he's also had some great games. A lot of that is byproduct of being in that system with Lane Kiffin, and that's something that worries me. But I think of all three of those, his talents would translate the best to the NFL. But obviously, we have a long ways to go in college football, and the pre-draft comp stuff and all the combine stuff and everything else is really going to help separate these guys.
Absolutely. No, I agree with you. I mean, it's a lot of. I don't really like college football. Zach's more of a college guy. I'm a Rutgers fan. We're losers every year, so I mean, I usually get turned off from college 2 weeks into the season. So Zach's your guy if you want to ask college questions because I'd rather work. Um, Saints fan 141 asks, when you open up the phone, it's open now. Can I ask some UFC questions? Yeah, I mean, UFC is my thing. It's like one of my top things, so you could ask it. UFC questions and baseball questions. Curious to know what your thoughts and opinions. Yeah, I mean, open up the phone line. We just opened up the phone line. The call number is 518-944-4297. That is the number. It'll be flashing along the bottom all show long for the rest of the show. Yeah, but if you ask me UFC questions, I won't only answer them, I will dissect them. Because UFC, I am so envious that I'm not going to the Garden this weekend. I'm so envious, but that stupid rule, I'm not even going to go into it. I'll be watching at my friend's house, and I can't wait. That's a card right there. Jerry Mayos says we're winless at home this season. Yeah, we are. I mean, will it change this Sunday? Who knows? I don't know. Zach said whoever scores the most points wins. I mean, that's going to be a truer statement, So we definitely have to be in front of our home crowd. It helps that we won in Detroit. It helps. But at the same time, we got to bring that energy back to Lincoln Financial Field this Sunday and use it, Sixers take down Bulls. Yeah, I mean, it was getting scary there at the end. My post-game thoughts are going to be pretty brutal on that because I don't like Doc Rivers, but it is what it is. They won regardless. And I think we have a phone call.
Nope, they just hung up.
Damn it. All right, we were about to have a phone call. It's probably the Saints fan, but call back. Especially if the Genius. Let me see if I missed anything. If Tony looks better than Smith, then what the fuck is Rager? Rager's my boy. That's who he is. That's my boy.
All right, here we go. Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Danny. I'm from Wichita, Kansas.
Hey, what's up,
man? Hey, yeah, I had the UFC questions and the baseball questions for you earlier.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Who do you guys think is going to win between Usman and Covington, and Zhang and Namajunas?
Okay, so this is pretty simple for me. Usman's gonna beat Covington. I want Covington to win. I think he's badass. I like his persona. I think he's a cocky little fuck. But at the same time, Usman, he's just so gifted. His striking ability, which you saw against Jorge Masvidal.
Hey guys, I can't hear you guys. I cannot hear.
Oh, you can't hear? Wait, hold on one second.
Hold on, I'm going to plug in my headset.
All right, yeah, no problem. But yeah, I mean, I'll repeat everything I just said because it's easy. You could ask me anything UFC related, and I will just dissect it. Like it's very easy. I was supposed to go to this card, Zach. I'm so.
Yeah, this is a good card.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, sorry guys, I didn't hear you. I had you on speaker, but my speakerphone wasn't working, so I can hear you
right.
now. What did you guys say?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
You can?
You can hear us, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now, at least.
All right, so between Usman and Covington, it's pretty simple. Usman's going to win. He's more gifted. Striking ability, you saw it against Jorge Masvidal against Jacksonville. That was the one weak part, quote unquote, that he had. And he knocked a guy out that never gets knocked out in his life, Jorge Masvidal. And his wrestling ability is second to none. Kobe has really good wrestling skills and defense, but Kobe also has the best cardio in UFC right now. So it's going to be interesting. I just think Usman's too gifted. I think Usman wins maybe a decision. I don't think it's a knockout. I would like to see Kobe Covington win. I like his character. I like his persona. I think he's a cocky little fuck. But at the same time, I just think Usman's the better fighter. Rose versus Zhang Weili. I was at the Jacksonville card. I saw it was a great night of fights. Rose Namajunas won with a head kick to the face. I don't see that happening this time around. I think Zhang Weili is a very skilled fighter. Unfortunately, I think Rose loses. I think Zhang Weili is a better fighter. And I'm not just saying that because, I think Rose is kind of a flash in the pan. I think Rose is brilliant. I like Rose. I think she's awesome. She's everything you want in an athlete, like the story and everything. It just fits. But Zhang Wei Li is just before she faced Rose and that kick to the face happened, she just completely annihilated people, like out of nowhere. And I just feel like it's one of those fights where she's gonna win, then they're gonna run it back a third time, and then I'll go for all the marbles. I think that's pretty simple.
Yeah. I honestly think that that Usman is going to win, and Namajunas is going to win. So I think it should be a pretty good fight.
Yeah, who do you have winning, Gaethje or Chandler?
Gaethje and who?
Gaethje or Chandler? Michael Chandler.
Chandler.
Yeah, Chandler. All right.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good one. That's the first fight of the pay-per-view card. So that'll be that's gonna be a violent one. But your baseball question. What was the baseball question?
What do you got? This one's for Kyle. What do you think of Aaron Boone getting a 3-year extension? Do you agree with it or disagree with it?
I hate it. I mean, I absolutely hate it. But what are you gonna do? I mean, it's one of those things where you just sit back and laugh at it, but you can't do anything about it. You know, it's comical at this point. The people that run the team don't care about the team. You know, they would rather have a puppet as manager, unlike someone that can actually manage the team. You know, look at the Atlanta Braves this year. They won the World Championship doing it the right way. We buy all these players every single year, and they can't get past the fucking wild card game. You know why that is? Because they don't have a manager. They don't have pitching. Like, these are fundamentally things that you need. You know, you could ask Zach. He's a fucking Mets fan. They never win. You want to know why? Because they suck every year. All right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the New York Yankees, they have money to spend, and they still suck. So it's like that's a problem there. And our farm system's not too great anyway. But, yeah, I don't like Boone. But there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
But you got anything else?
That's all the questions that I had for you guys. So it was nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, man. Call back anytime.
Appreciate the phone call, man.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah. All I know is Usman is a bad motherfucker. And the fact that they're opening that card with that fight with Gaethje and Chandler, that's going to be a nasty fight right there. That's probably my fight of the night. That's the one that I want to watch the most.
You going to watch?
I don't have the money to buy these pay-per-views anymore, and that's the tough part.
Well, I'm probably going to buy it on ESPN Plus. So if there's a way that you could open up my account, then I'll stream it with you.
That's what I used to do, but my buddy doesn't split anymore with me, so it's hard to spend the $50 or whatever it is now.
It's like 60 something now.
It keeps just going up and up.
But I'm going to a house party, so I'll be watching it with everybody. So that'll be good. But yeah, I'm so envious. I'm not going to that card. Reverse psychology bets have been hitting. Yeah, I gotta be honest. Betting has not gone my way within the last month. It hasn't at all.
It's been rough.
It's been really rough. Biggest keys for the game this week: run the ball and get pressure on Herbert. I mean, yeah, run the ball is self-explanatory. It worked last week. You got to keep at it and get pressure on Herbert. Yeah, the guy's good, and he has all these weapons around him. You saw last week against the Patriots. I didn't really watch the game, but I'm pretty sure that Bill got pressure on him. Am I right, Zach?
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. If you get pressure on any quarterback, not just Herbert, they're going to fold unless your name's Aaron Rodgers. So, just how it is. Thoughts on the Sixers beating one of the best teams? Come on, guys. It's
early in the season.
Guys, come on. They're not one of the best teams in
it's early in the season.
Look up and down the roster. Like, we're talking about the Knicks winning the championship right now. It's so early in the season.
We are?
I'm
a Knicks fan, and I'm not even talking about that. Get out of here.
Exactly. It's embarrassing. It's delusional. It's the Chicago Bulls stink. They have DeMar DeRozan. Who cares? They have Zach LaVine. Who cares? They're players that aren't going to amount to anything when it comes to the postseason. So it is what it is. Nitro, use more reverse psychology. They trap everyone. Now the public side never covers on primetime. No, I mean, Vegas books have been getting hammered lately. Like the last 4 weeks, Vegas has lost. So like the public has been owning the shit out of them. So we'll see what happens this week. I can't call it. I really can't. It's tough this year. because I usually go against the public, and I'd be getting shellacked. I thought there was heavy money on the Knicks tonight. That game seemed fixed again. Pacers tonight, but whatever. Well, here's the thing. I used to think of the fixed thing a long time ago, but the computers have every little statistic of any team you can find, and the computers are what makes the lines. So that's why it's so dead on when the teams lose by 1 point or win by 1 point and the line gets fucked up, because the computers have every little stat. What the players have, what they don't have, how the coaching is, how the crowd's going to be, what type of weather it's going to be, if there's weather. I mean, you can't get past it. The line's always right. So it's just something that's smarter than the human brain. We need to trade Fletcher Cox after the season. You're telling me. I was about to really rant into this guy because Fletcher Cox, we paid him all that money. He helped win us the Super Bowl. But my God, this guy looks washed. And if we get rid of him, he has a $14 million cap next year. So we can't necessarily get rid of him, but Fletcher Cox looks bad. He looks really bad. And I don't know if he's going to fix his game. I generally don't. I hope so because I like Fletcher Cox, but I just don't think so. Bulls stink, Nitro. Don't know about them. No, they stink. They stink. You're right. 100%. These odd makers are not. They're not. They're never wrong. Thoughts on Russell Wilson? I would love him. Danny. Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's going to be 33 years old. He has 4 years left in his career. If we have an opportunity to get him, you go after him. It's that simple, especially if he's at the top of your list. And I think he would like to come here because we have some talented pieces, and next year we're going to be loaded with assets. So why not? Especially if he wants to leave Seattle. I don't think sports are rigged. I think storylines are set up to sell games, but I don't think they're fixing games. It's hard to do. I mean, there was actually this one guy that came out this year for the Chicago Bears, and he actually tweeted out and said they want us to keep our mouth shut. But these games are fixed for the story. That's what he basically said. I forget the name of the player, but just type up Chicago Bears player and it says contract, and he said that it's pretty much all rigged for a story. So that's why I'm telling you to keep a lookout on the Dallas Cowboys this year, because the Dallas Cowboys haven't won in 26 years. And now that the owner and coach made up at the Hall of Fame ceremony, that's something you got to look out for because it's like a movie. They make up, they win the Super Bowl, and the curse is lifted. It's just something you got to look out for. And now they're plus 900 to win the Super Bowl. Go figure, right? Bills versus Rams Super Bowl. Nah, I don't like the Rams. I just don't like them. The Bills I agree with. The Bills I agree going with, but I don't really like the Rams. I don't like them anymore.
Why don't you like the Rams anymore?
I just don't like them. I just think there's something about them that just I don't know. I like Matt Stafford, but I just don't think they're going to – they don't do it for me. Why would Russell Wilson not want to play with Devonta Smith? Well, here's the thing. If you missed my rant at the beginning of the show, I said that Devonta Smith is not living up to his potential. So I don't know if he'd want to target Devonta Smith as a guy that would make him want to come here. So it's basically what I'm saying there. How many times, Jerry? I mean, a lot. Probably a lot.
More than the actual game.
Yeah, probably more than the actual game. Saying your shout out. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Anyway, someone steals Kellen Moore away from the Cowboys. Yeah, he's not going to be there much longer. He's not. I feel like he's definitely at the top of the list of head coaching gigs right now, and he's only 32 years old. So, yeah, he'd be an awesome head coach. Like, he really would. I mean, you're looking at someone like Mike McCarthy, a guy that's, I'm going to be honest, very vanilla, and he's not that good of a head coach. And he looks like a stud right now because, number one, they have so much talent on the offensive side of the ball, and the defensive side of the ball is looking pretty damn good right now. Plus, they have a phenomenal offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. And this is what's scary to me, and I hate bringing this up every single week. But if you need to ask me, gun to my head right now, who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, it is the Dallas Cowboys. I genuinely think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I think it is going to be the Bills versus the Dallas Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. And it stinks because they're such cockroaches, but at least Eagles fans, we won that Super Bowl. So if they won, it wouldn't feel as bad. But right now, guys, they are a very good team. Like, they had Cooper Rush. They trotted Cooper Rush out there on Sunday Night Football, and he looked like Joe Montana. So that team is they're scary. That's a scary team, Zach. Like, they really are. And what are they, 6-1 now? 7-1?
Something like that. 6 or 7-1. 6-1 probably. I think they already had their bye week.
So right now, I would say they're the front runner to win the Super Bowl. Joey Shake 72. Question: do you only trade for a Rodgers or a Russell Wilson if you're QB away from competing? I mean, that's something that you would have to just act on a whim about. You can't really think about if you're one QB away from winning because, in my opinion, after what I saw Sunday, Joey, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not going to sugarcoat shit anymore. After what I saw on Sunday, the way they ran the ball to success, the way the team played, the way they completely obliterated the shit out of the Lions. I understand it's the Lions, but the Lions have heart. The way they killed that team on Sunday, man. If you get someone like a Rodgers or Russell Wilson, I honestly think that they'd be a contender like that. I'm not trying to like snap because they beat the Lions, but it's the way they beat the Lions. Like, when they started running the ball, it's like they couldn't be stopped. A bad team, there's no point in time where a bad team can't just not be stopped. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Nick Sirianni. Is he a goof? Is he a weirdo? Yeah, he's a fucking weirdo. I mean, he's Flower Boy. But at the same time, I can't take away anything that he did last week. I can't, because he called the perfect game plan. The absolute perfect game plan. And a game like that is what is not going to get him fired. Because he showed, let's be honest, what Frank Reich was all about. And that's why we hired him in the first place. So it's definitely interesting now. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't think it really matters. If you have an opportunity to get Rodgers or Russell Wilson, you're going to get them no matter what. That's just how I view it.
Now, I got a question for you.
Yep.
If you were only one QB away from winning a Super Bowl, who would you go, Rodgers or Wilson?
If I was one QB, Rodgers. 100%.
Yeah, me too. Just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson, I like Russell Wilson, but Rodgers is just that guy. I know he chokes a lot, but like Rodgers is that guy to where I just feel like if you have the right team around him, he won't lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the Packers always have that one piece that's just not there. Like last year when they faced Tampa Bay, they faced Tom Brady. Tom Brady succeeds in those games, and Green Bay didn't have their full crowd in that stadium, and Green Bay played an off game. Do I think Green Bay was the better team that year? Yeah, 100%. But they lost that game because of everything I just said. Now, if you add Rodgers to an offense that has key potential, like Rager, yes, I'm still in on Rager. Don't fucking bitch at me. Rager, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, all these guys that get open, and you add pieces for next year. You have 3 assets for next year, So I just feel like when it comes to free agency next year and the draft, you could add on to this team. And yeah, I just feel like Aaron Rodgers will be poised to win at that point. So yeah, I mean, either one would be good, but I'm going Aaron Rodgers. Will the Braves repeat? No. Eagles have a very favorable schedule the rest of the year, so that's a good thing. It's a good thing depending on who you ask. Now, I'm the type of fan, and I'll let Zach speak because I know he has a lot to say. But when it comes to the Eagles this year, I just don't think they're good enough to go on a run. And to me, it's about the title. It's title or bust. And do I think they can win the Super Bowl this year? Not no, but fuck no. There's no way they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. So to me, being the selfish prick that I am, I want the Eagles to accumulate as much assets as possible and good assets as that. So next year, they could go on that run with a new quarterback, with their new shiny toys, with Nick Sirianni's game plan, hopefully against Detroit, and go on a run. It's a year-to-year league, and that's what I want. So if they lost every game from here on out, I'd be whatever, to be honest with you. But if they won, and they got into the wild card spot for literally no reason, I mean, I'm not gonna be mad, but at the same time, I'll be like, "What the fuck?" You know, just how I see it. Zach,
The
you have
fan
anything to say?
inside of me that I can't root for myself to lose. I can't root for this team to lose. Even if I know in my heart, and I do know in my heart, they're not going anywhere. If they make it to the playoffs, they could easily be bounced before the game even starts.
Easily.
Before the game even starts.
Yeah, they would lose before the game started.
But I cannot openly root for them to lose.
Like Tom Brady would like stare at them and be like, "What are you doing here?" Like he'd just be like, "Listen, this isn't the Super Bowl. Like, what are you guys literally fucking doing here? You guys don't belong here." Rodgers' personality of fit here in Philly, 100%. He's never lost here. Every single time he's come to Philly, he's never lost. I honestly find it suspicious we won the Super Bowl after the NFL held the draft in Philly. They saw the passion of the football, booing, hatred of Goodell, and said, let's give them one to comment. I mean, I mean, that's a bit of a stretch only because how do you rig a strip sack? You know, I just don't. I don't know the way that Tom Brady was throwing the ball. You just can't rig that because Tom Brady could have seriously injured his arm if it went wrong. So I don't agree with that one. I mean, I understand people trying to like set it up to where it was rigged in our favor, but I just feel it was our year. You know, you can make it a case that Nick Foles was the perfect storyline. You know, you could say that, but nah, I don't think so. We have the bounty get scared on with us. Yeah, I mean, New Orleans is always that one team that they choke every single year. I love it. I get it. Yeah, Joey. Yeah, if you haven't before, do me a favor, go sub up Joey Shake 72, one of the premier upper echelon Eagles fans, a hard worker. Him and Philly 500 have the Philly Shakedown every Sunday, I believe, and it's an awesome podcast. I actually played a joke on them the last podcast, and I made a new YouTube account, and I put in 3 words that if you said it really quick, it's like it sounds extremely inappropriate. And my boy Philly 500 actually read it on air, and I have it. I retweeted it on my Twitter account. But you want to go check that out. It's actually timestamped on my Twitter account, so that was pretty funny. But those guys are great. They have a great show, and go sub them up. Would you take in a 1v1 matchup Shake Milton? Come on, bro.
Shake Milton.
Yeah, but come on, that's such a weak ass question. Like, I mean, like, I love you guys, but you guys gotta ask me something that's like hard to answer. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm actually gonna say Furkan Korkmaz because I don't like Shake Milton. I think Shake Milton disappears too much, and Furkan Korkmaz, at least you know what he is. There's gonna be games where he's gonna ball out and look like Kobe Bryant, but then the next game he's gonna look like Delonte West. So I mean, and I'm not talking Delonte West playing in the league. I'm talking about Delonte West in his current state. So,
in his current state, he's better than LeBron.
Yeah, exactly. Eagles won. Eagles won because they had the best O-line in the league before they got old and led the league in sacks. Laugh out loud. And Doug was running a good system until the league kind of caught up to him. I mean, Doug shouldn't have been fired, in my opinion, but that's just one man's opinion. Chargers versus Cardinals, dark horse Super Bowl. I don't like it. I mean, I see those names and I just don't like. I don't like the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are fool's gold.
It's because they're 2 teams that have yet to prove that they can do it. So until they prove that they can do it, you can't believe it. You can't buy into it.
Like,
especially with that air raid attack with Arizona. You've seen how well it did not work, just the other week, so it's tough to buy in, especially with an air raid attack where it could easily be stopped. And their ground game leaves a lot to be desired, even though they're consistent in running the ball. It's not productive enough to make up for the air raid attack if it's not working.
Yeah, and plus Goodell would never let that matchup happen, because that would be the least watched Super Bowl of all time. It doesn't appeal to anybody. It just doesn't. Besides you guys, who are the smartest Eagles fans? I'm gonna go Joey Shakes. If I'm being unbiased, Philly 500 is entertaining. He's a good friend of mine, very entertaining. But when it comes to knowing the football team, I think he's more on the biased side. So I'm just being honest. But Joey Shakes, he's more unbiased. That's why that podcast is so dynamic because you have different sides of the fence there. Smart. Listen, I don't really follow many Eagles podcasters because I'm going to be honest with you, they're pretty much all the same. But those two right off the bat, I love. So I'm going to go with them. I just feel like you watch their podcast, you get everything you need. That's just how I see it, and I'm not going to say nobody else matters because that would sound scumbagish of me, but I don't really care. Cowboys are more of a dark horse. I wouldn't even say dark horse. I think they're legit. I generally think they're legit. How stupid is Deshaun Jackson? Who leaves a Super Bowl team? They're not a Super Bowl team. Sports Live and ATL. Yeah, his Braves won last night. Finally, Atlanta doesn't choke, and they hold on to a lead to win. Congratulations. And now that is it for you guys. Seth Joyner is a pretty smart Eagle. Is that the linebacker?
I don't know. I don't pay attention much. You know what I do?
Seth Joyner. That's the linebacker. He used to be a linebacker for Philadelphia.
Yeah. But I don't pay attention to much Eagles podcasts. I don't pay attention to news. And it's not because these people aren't good at their jobs. It's because I like to come to an opinion and a decision on my own by watching things and reading things and learning things. That's why I try not to get too many different opinions in my head because I like to make my own opinion.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
I don't pay attention. So I do apologize to all the Philly creators out there that I don't support you guys enough because I know you guys work hard just like us, and I do appreciate everybody and their craft, but unfortunately I just don't listen because I feel like it dirties up my mind and I want a clean mind to make my own opinion.
Now, unfortunately, I used to watch a lot of them. I did the mistake of doing that, and it gave me a headache because everyone was like, Jalen Hurts is going to be the next Super Bowl MVP, and I'm like, dude, you saw 4 games of them. What goes into your mind thinking that's going to happen? It's like for us, we're unbiased. Well, at least I'm unbiased. Sometimes kind of whatever with Alabama, but at the same time, that's why our podcast is real because we open up the phone lines. We like to hear you guys talk. We don't just like you guys typing in the comment section. We like to hear genuine emotion when you guys talk, which is why we open up the phone lines. It's still open, by the way, 518-944-4297. We would love a lot more phone calls tonight. We had one that was UFC related, which I dissected, obviously. But that's why our show is different. That's why we're trying to grow it as big as possible. We're going to have an off-season show as well, probably once a week. And obviously, Zach's a Knicks fan. So, whenever they play the Sixers, I'll always obviously make fun of them and hope that the Sixers win. They're 6-2 this year. The Knicks are not.
All right, let's go to the phone lines. Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Jamar again from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
What's up, Jamar from Hershey, Pennsylvania? How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
Yeah, I was just watching the podcast, and I was just gonna talk about my thoughts overall with the team.
Right.
So, and Jalen Hurts. I unfortunately that game last week against the Lions. It's good that we won. We finally decided to run the freaking football like we should, and use our running backs. Because if you really think about it, we have a back pretty much almost for everything. If you want to run it up the middle. With some power, you got Jordan Howard. If you want a smaller back who's really shifty and get between the tackles, you have Boston Scott. Then you want a pass catching back from the back, the pocket. You got Kenneth Gainwell, and then you got Miles Sanders, kind of all around back. So there's no really reason why it should have took until week 8 to actually use these running backs. We had talent at running back. Now, if he's going to do it.
I apologize. I hung up on him because some idiot keeps on calling. So, call back from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Some idiot that called in and ruined Jamar's phone call.
I
Shame on you.
apologize, Jamar.
Yeah, Jamar. Well, basically what Jamar was saying was, why did it take so long for the running game to get going in week 8? And I'll answer his question for you right here, right now. It's pretty self-explanatory. Miles Sanders just wasn't good enough to get into a rhythm to make our run game work the way it did. Jordan Howard, Boston Scott. Those are the two names you need to know. Those guys got in a rhythm. The Lions could not stop them. And that's why Sirianni's running attack finally worked, and that's why he ran the ball.
All right. Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's okay. It's Jamar again.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Jamar?
I apologize about that, man.
No, that's all right. It happens. Yeah, just as I was saying, it shouldn't have taken to week 8 for him to use those running backs. I hope he finally knows what he has at running back. Now, if he does it against the Chargers, that remains to be seen. But to be honest, I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to go back to his old ways, running RPOs and shotgun passes with Jalen Hurts, which doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he might go back to the passing game. Here's the thing. The thing I've kind of dissected out of Nick Sirianni's game plan is the fact that he tends to go away from his game plan if it doesn't work almost immediately. And if the game plan's working, the Eagles are going to win the game. They just are, because the way the game plan worked against the Detroit Lions, the run and attack couldn't be stopped. And if the run and attack couldn't be stopped, Jalen Hurts doesn't look like a one-trick pony. He could actually do whatever he wants in the pocket. So if your running game works, everything works on your offense. And Eagles won't lose many games that way. They won't. But before that, the run and attack couldn't get going, whether it's Miles Sanders not being good enough or the fact that it wasn't working, and then he just went away from it and just had Jalen Hurts throw the ball all game. That's just one thing. But that's one thing I dissected out of Nick Sirianni is he goes away from his game plan if it doesn't work immediately. And it pretty much needs to work right off the bat, or else it's going to be a challenging game for him. So hopefully this week, whatever game plan he has, it sticks and it's smooth sailing.
Well, I think definitely his game plan this week should be, if he was smart, he would run the ball because, the Chargers have the worst rate rushing defense in the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
So what do? You exploit the team's weaknesses and you run the football. That opens up everything. You can see how the RPOs were kind of working against the Lions because we ran the ball. So defenders now have to account for the running back coming out of the backfield. It wasn't just Jalen Hurts running the football or passing it. So it made the offense much more unpredictable. Mm-hmm. Also, he did those, I guess they're called jet sweeps, where you kind of run it with the wide receiver. Yep. That was nice too. I really like that. And then one of those trick plays was actually, somewhat executed well too. But I think definitely the game plan this week should just be running the football, just like you did last week. You have to exploit a team's weaknesses. Now, granted, I don't think we're going to win this game personally. But yeah, I think the Chargers are a better team. But I understand they haven't won a whole game all year, but if you look at their home schedule, so far it's been brutal. I mean, they have to play the 49ers, then they played the Bucs, then they played the Chiefs, and now they're going to play the Chargers. I mean, so I think this is the last really hard game on their schedule, because otherwise the schedule looks favorable after this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. They've had a brutal schedule to start the season. Now they have a really weak schedule, so it could be interesting if they play the way they did against the Lions. It could get interesting. But let me ask you a question, Jamar. Now, would you rather make the wild card with a team that can't win the Super Bowl just to be there, or would you rather? I'm not saying lose on purpose, but would you rather like not win as many games to accumulate as much top tier assets as you can go into next year?
That's a good question. It's not necessarily about winning the Super Bowl for me, because let's be honest. I mean, this ain't a Super Bowl team. We're not winning a Super Bowl this year. But what I would think, that's a good question. Honestly, I would think more about trying to win for the future, like going forward. I think we need those draft picks. But the problem is, again, you have a GM that hasn't drafted a Pro Bowler in almost 10 freaking years.
He hasn't.
So,
yeah.
It's kind of hard because you're stuck between a rock and a hard place with that. But if I had to say which one I'd rather do, I'd probably rather accumulate draft picks, moving forward.
You're on the same side as me. I would actually have some Eagles fans that would say no playoffs no matter what, even if we're an 8-8 team, 8-9 team or whatever. And here's the thing, I understand the playoffs are awesome because you're on national TV. I get it. Like, you don't want to miss out. You don't have that chance. But if you're in the playoffs being an 8-9 team, you don't have a chance. Like, I mean, you're in the tournament. If you're in the tournament, you have a chance. Like, you're in the NCAA tournament. But you really don't have a chance. Not in this league. Not today. I know that Patrick Mahomes doesn't look the same. So, the AFC looks different this year. And the Bills might actually sneak in. But we're just not on the level of the teams like the Bills. We're not on the level of the team like the Packers, Tampa Bay. We're just not on their level. And it's just like, I don't know if I want to just get to the playoffs to watch them get smacked just because we were there. I think I'm past that. After we won the Super Bowl, my priorities changed a little bit. I'm about winning trophies now. I'm not about just going to the playoffs. Like Doug Peterson said, it's the new norm. If you really want it to be the new norm, you got to do whatever you can to make a solid enough team to go on a run. And right now, we're not that team.
Right. And that honestly, that kind of upsets me. It reminds me, because honestly, I'm not even happy that we're in the state of, rebuilding right now. I feel like we should still be competitive. I mean, we won the Super Bowl like 4 years ago. I mean, that's not too long ago. I thought we'd be competitive for at least 2 or 3 more years. I'm not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl every year. No, I mean, come on, that's not going to happen. But I was saying at least we'd be competitive. We'd be winning football games, maybe making the playoffs. Making a run, kind of like what happened when Andy Reid was here. I mean, we had a couple of bad years, but for the most part, we were competitive just about every year.
Yep. We were in the NFC Championship game 4 straight years with Andy Reid. You know how hard it is to go to 2 straight NFC Championship games, let alone 4? Like, it's tough. And, he had us in it. And a lot of people gave Andy Reid, like, bad juju, like, just good grief, like, bad grief. And, Andy Reid was definitely, in my opinion, I know that Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl, but I think the best coach in Philadelphia Eagles history is still Andy Reid. I generally do. Because
it's without a question.
Yeah.
It's without a question. Yeah, I would say the same thing. I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, if you look at the success that we had with Andy Reid, I mean, yeah, you gotta say it's Andy Reid was the best coach ever in Philadelphia Eagles history. But that also reminds me, it's like, I don't understand why we fired Doug. And when you fire a Super Bowl winning head coach, a guy that not only won a Super Bowl, won the first Super Bowl in your franchise's history, when you had a guy named Andy Reid, who's going to be a Hall of Famer, he couldn't even accomplish. You let him go? Like, I don't understand that. But then you keep your GM. Like I said, the guy can't draft, and part of the reason why we're over the salary cap is because we're not getting good enough young players to replace the old players that we have. So we have to keep relying on free agents every year and getting these players who have high contracts every year. Not only have high contracts, they're old.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you exactly the reason why they fired Doug. And thanks for the phone calls, Ramar. I really appreciate it. I'll tell you exactly the reason why they fired Doug Peterson. It wasn't the fact that he was a bad coach. They fired him because of all the shenanigans that happened year after year after year, whether it was Carson Wentz going down, whether it was not him playing good, them having the backup quarterback, which one would they play, which one did they not play. When the backup quarterback goes in, he automatically looks better than Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz wants out of Philadelphia. They just wanted the whole thing to go. It wasn't just Carson Wentz going. They wanted both of them out because they wanted that era gone. They wanted to wipe it clean. In my opinion, they wanted to wipe it clean because they got the Super Bowl. They thanked them forever, but they wanted to start over and get a new, fresh look of the team because it was never going to end up being anything great if one of them were to stay here. Both of them needed to go, in my opinion. Do I agree with it? Of course I don't. But that's just what I felt they were thinking when they fired Doug Peterson. Since Carson Wentz was out, they wanted him out as well. It's just what I thought. Colts are dealt with it. I don't even care about the Colts. And to be honest with you guys, I'm going to say this, and I hope we get a couple more phone calls before we wrap this up. I'm going to be honest with you. I think as Eagles fans, all of us need to stop worrying about what Carson Wentz is doing. Mm-hmm. All I see on Twitter every single Sunday is Carson Wentz this, Carson Wentz that. Now, I poke fun at him sometimes. I'm like, yeah, Carson Wentz looks great when he threw an interception. But I think we really need to move on from it because our team is completely different now. If Carson Wentz were here right now, he wouldn't succeed. Not in this situation. No way. I don't like Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts, for what he's worth as a player, for what he is as a player, is actually doing better than I thought he would. Carson Wentz, the way he holds on to the ball too long, he would get killed. Like absolutely murdered. He can't run to the sticks like Jalen Hurts can. He'd get murdered. So I think what we need to do as a fan base is we need to move on from Carson Wentz. Like we need to. He's not that good. Like he's really not. He's a middle tier quarterback to low end quarterback that gets paid like Aaron Rodgers. That's what he is. And that's what he's been ever since he's got injured. So we as a fan base have to move on. We have to. I know Zach was a fan of him. I understand it. But we got to move on.
Why we have to throw me under the bus? You never hear me say anything about Carson Wentz.
Because you are
outside of
you are a fan of him.
I root for players outside of the Philadelphia Eagles, but I don't bring it to the podcast because there's no need to talk about them because they're not on the Eagles. Same thing with Carson Wentz. Okay. I'll cheer for Carson Wentz, but I'm not going to bring up his snap count and if he's won this game, lost this game, and this and that, and I wish we still had him. I wish he wasn't here, blah, blah, blah. It's just drama, 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 drama. The favorite thing in sports, and especially in Philadelphia, is the backup quarterback. Well, you got the backup quarterback. Now you got to live with him.
And it's like that one video I made last week that I still don't have any remorse over. Like about people wearing Carson Wentz Colts jerseys and whatnot. Like, it's true. I wouldn't put out a video that wasn't true. It disgusts me that Eagles fans wear Carson Wentz's Colts jersey. Like, it just does. Even when Zach was wearing the Carson Wentz Colts shirt, it even made me throw up in my mouth. Did he do it on purpose? Oh, absolutely he did that on purpose. He knew the situation. He knew the circumstance. But that was a good laugh. Would he do that randomly? No, he wouldn't. People need to get out of that mindset that it's okay to wear other teams' jerseys. It's not, especially if you're self-proclaimed a diehard Eagles fan. It's not okay. It's just not. And I'm gonna hold that video till the day I die. That ain't going down, baby. Carson Wentz has given me Stockholm Syndrome. He kidnapped the Eagles, and now I have to watch what he does. But what does that mean? All right, you don't have to watch what he does. He doesn't. Carson Wentz is like a deer in the headlight. He looks like a deer. Like that's what he is. He's built like a deer without the deer. You know what I'm saying? So he's just a fucking doofus.
He's just a fucking deer. Just say it. It's okay. He's a fucking deer.
See, in this, I disagree with Jerry Mayhaus. You want to know why we're not moving on from Nick Foles? And I'm not just going to be biased about this because Nick Foles is my dude, and I don't think he should ever pay for a drink in the city of Philadelphia ever again, or a meal for that fact. Nick Foles is forever a legend. You should never move on from Nick Foles because he won the Super Bowl. All right. When you win the Super Bowl, your name is etched forever. Forever. Carson Wentz could have won the Super Bowl if he didn't run headfirst into 2 linebackers, but he did, like an idiot. And he missed out on that chance. And I'm sorry. But no, people should never move on from Nick Foles.
Okay, but ask Tom Brady this question. Which one is his favorite Super Bowl? His answer, the next one.
Yep.
It's as simple as that. So I
don't have a next one. We only have
I have
one.
a Nick Foles jersey in my closet, but guess what? I'm moving on.
But we're not Tom Brady. We're not the Patriots. We may never win a fucking Super Bowl again.
Because we're clinging on to a strip
No,
sack
because we're the Eagles.
A prayer of a player that had 3 good games in a row.
No, because we're the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles haven't won a championship until 2018 in their 60-year existence, or 60 years since the Super Bowl was a thing. Like, they haven't won one. You know,
the Patriots didn't either until Tom Brady came along.
It's not because we're hanging on to Nick Foles. That's just a scapegoat. It's a stupid scapegoat. It's because we're the Philadelphia Eagles, and we'll never see another title again because we're the Philadelphia Eagles. And we always make the wrong moves. That's what it is.
Guess what? I'm not holding on to that Super Bowl. I appreciate it. I love it. It was one of the greatest moments in my sports history, but I want another one. And I'm not going to hang on to this one.
Why do you think
and praying we get another one? I want another one.
Why do you think I don't really want to win this year? Because I want to win Super Bowls. I don't want to go to the playoffs as a broken down, mediocre team. You know, I don't want to do that, because if players deserve to get fired or let go, you need them to get let go this year, not carry them on to the next year. That's why I want some of these players gone right now. Maybe even the defensive coordinator. I think he stinks. So it's just how it is. Move on from Nick Foles won the Super Bowl. It sounds funny to me too, Loopy. Trust me. Foles is our real life Rocky. That statue means everything. Exactly. That's why it's always going to be at Lincoln Financial.
And that's why the Eagles never win, because we just hold on to the past over and over again, year after year after year after year, hoping and praying that we'll see another in the next 60 years.
Nick Foles broke the NFL records in an Eagles uniform. Exactly.
And it's funny that I'm not trashing him, because I do love Nick Foles, that we're talking about all this on his anniversary of his 7 touchdown.
Absolutely. Game. It's just, and the thing is, he's such a nice guy. Like, there's nothing about the guy that's a piece of shit. People turn him into a piece of shit because apparently he sparked the debate without sparking a debate, because fans like me appreciate him a lot more than Carson Wentz. It's not his fault that I appreciate Nick Foles more than Carson Wentz. You know, that's just what happened.
Moving on from 2017/18 because I want to see another one.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see another one too, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. That's why I hold on to it, because it's not going to happen anytime soon. I'm realistic. If the Eagles win the Super Bowl, we will never. But at this point, I don't care. I really don't care. Like, we won that Super Bowl in 2018. If the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, we won it before them in the last 20 years. I don't give a fuck about that. I really don't care. The thing with me is I hate the Giants a lot more than I hate the Dallas Cowboys. Like, it's not even close. It's really not close. I hate the New York Giants, and they stink. You know, I cannot stand the New York Giants. If the Giants won, I would be pissed. Would you prefer Gannon's defense or Schwartz's defense? Schwartz's, 100%. Because Schwartz, I like Schwartz, to be honest with you.
A mixture of the two. That's what I would like.
Yep. Big Dick Nick. How can you not respect him? Exactly. Why do a lot of Eagles fans on Twitter give more credit to Carter? Because they're pricks. They're pricks. They spark up the debates that are not true. Carson Wentz was a hobby little guy on crutches during the Super Bowl, walking the line because he couldn't run when they were scoring a touchdown because he was crippled. So people want to say he helped win the Super Bowl when in reality he didn't. I don't hate Dallas like I used to. I never really hated Dallas. I mean, they play in Texas. It's the NFC East, and they play in Texas, and they play in our division. I never really got that. But, I mean, is Texas in the East Coast? I mean, it's not. You know, so that's just how I view it. What else do we got here? Like I said, guys, we have about like 15 minutes left in the show. We want an epic phone call. If you disagree with anything I've said recently about, Nick Foles or whatever, I don't really want to talk about Nick Foles anymore. But if you want to bring up a debate, then bring up a debate. I'm sure Zach will love it. Nick Foles was amazing, but never played 16. Oh, come on, stop it. I'm still not sold on Sirianni. No one is. I mean, like here's the thing. Sirianni had one good game plan this year, and that was against the Detroit Lions. That was it. It was a good game plan, but that's it. I don't know the love for Eric Bieniemy either. I mean, he's not succeeding right now with Patrick Mahomes, and so I don't know. So it's the same thing with people that wanted Deuce. Like Deuce is the assistant head coach in Detroit, and he looks horrible. They also say Carson guys, whatever.
This is what I'm talking about. We're not going back to 2017-18. We're going forward. We're talking about the Eagles versus the Chargers. On to Cincinnati, as Bill Belichick would say.
Yeah, but we're not playing Cincinnati. Will Eric Bieniemy get a head coaching job? I don't care. I really don't care. But yeah, I can't believe we went back to the Foles Wentz thing again. This is
you
great.
guys are killing me, all of you, and I understand, and I love, and I appreciate it, and it was a special moment. I had so many people call me just to hear me cry because we won a Super Bowl. Yes, grown man crying over a football game that he had nothing to do with. I did it.
Hey,
you want to reminisce on your own time. We're here to talk Chargers, Eagles. We're here to move forward.
Is someone calling? I heard a beep.
No.
Okay. Why not? It's a fun debate. It's an old debate, but it is a fun debate. Zach, what are your thoughts on Slater for the Chargers?
Rashawn Slater is a great player and a great pickup and is going to go a long way in helping them eventually win a Super Bowl. You just got to have your young quarterback continue to play the game the right way, make big time plays at the end of games. And I'm really excited to see their defense continue to step up because I am a huge Derwin James fan.
Lucas Dutra, I pray he requests for a trade. I do not like Miles Sanders at all. I think he stinks. Let me see real quick. Should we draft a QB, and who do you want if drafted? I mean, that's not up to me. I think the quarterback draft is weak as shit, so I don't really care. I would rather get a veteran. Who didn't cry? I cried like a little bitch, dude. My video is still up. When the strip sack happened, I was like, this game's over, baby.
Did you cry more during the strip sack or when that ball hit the ground? Because I cried more when the strip sack happened.
Strip sack. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I knew the game was over because we were in their territory, and I was like, even if they score a touchdown, they'd still have to get the 2-point conversion, and that's not a guarantee. So I was like, you know what? I'll take my chances. I'll cry right now, and that's it. When the ball hit the ground, I was happy.
Do we want to talk about Donovan McNabb puking in the Super Bowl too?
Here's the thing. All right, and I'll bring that up right now. Donovan McNabb was in Jacksonville partying the day before the Super Bowl. That's why he threw up in the huddle. Now, Donovan is one of my favorite players in Philadelphia Eagle history because he brought entertainment year in and year out. He always had us there year in and year out. Was he a loser? Oh, absolutely, he was a loser. But in true Philadelphia Eagles fashion, like some of the best players have never won before, like Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins is probably right up there with Reggie White, in my opinion, when it comes to Philadelphia Eagles. But he never won. Sometimes good players don't win. It happens. Now, Donovan McNabb was out partying in Jacksonville. He threw 3 interceptions during that game, and we still only lost by 3 points. Mm-hmm. Terrell Owens broke his foot, played on a broken foot, and we had the audacity not to pay this guy more. It's absurd.
The only thing that upsets me is that we didn't get Donovan McNabb better weapons sooner.
I know.
And the fact that T.O. and Donovan McNabb had to be spoiled brats and ruin it for the rest of us.
They couldn't get along. It sucks that they couldn't get along.
It does.
Jerry Mayos, thoughts on Matt Corral out of Ole Miss? Like I said before, if I were to pick a quarterback, he'd be the one. I'm not even that sold on him, though, to be honest with you. Thanks for the super chat, though. I really appreciate it. Mike Williams is having a career year. Yep, he is. And he's coming to the playoffs. Didn't Reggie White win a Super Bowl somewhere else? Yeah, Green Bay.
Green Bay.
Yep. Never won here. We just got rid of him. Like he was nothing. Tio says he wants to fight Donovan. I mean, that beef's never going to end. So.
And Tio said that it was over, and then whatever happened, he's like, yeah, now I want to fight Donovan. You know what? You guys both ruined it. You both were crybabies. You both, it just, gotta go.
Well, Tio also needs money. I mean, did you ever see that, the challenge with CT and Tio on, the real world? He was like, let's be honest. The only reason why you're here is because you need money. He's like, whose fault is that? He's like, it's yours. I'm not the one that blew away $71 million.
I will say, Donovan McNabb, never talk about another man's money. Terrell Owens, there's better ways you could have went around and did it.
Yep.
Both at fault.
That was like historic TV moment. I got to send you that link when I get off of the show.
I don't think I've ever watched Real World. I might have watched it like once or
twice.
No,
I will send you this clip, but you'll die. Like, it was just like one of the best things I've ever seen. Yeah, Keenan Allen's kind of having an off year. But Keenan Allen's been great for years. Like, when Phillip Rivers was there, he was always his go-to receiver, but he's kind of fell off a little bit, at least this year. Tio's original AB, they're completely different. Completely different. Did the Eagles beat the Broncos? Nah, no. Because it's in Denver. Denver's tough to play in. And I don't think we have that good of a team. I'm not saying that the Broncos are that good, but I just don't think we have that good of a team. I'm all aboard the Malik Willis train. I think he's special. I don't care about his level of competition. Maybe. I mean, he's playing at Liberty. Zach and the Eagles Super Bowl is like Rosenhausen day in the driveway. Next question. Exactly. Hey, listen. All right. Me and Zach are both diehard fans of the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, we're on the podcast, but listen, my opinion about the Super Bowl matters. All right. His does not, because he wants to get rid of it like it never happened. But it did.
I don't want to get rid of it like it never happened. I want to look forward to the next, even though it might not come within the next 2-3 years. Yeah. I want to look forward and see what this team needs to do to take the step forward to win the next one. I don't want to have to reminisce about one for 60 years.
All right, then, Zach, let me ask you a question. What do we have to do to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years with the current heap of shit that we have? Time's yours.
What we need to do is get a franchise quarterback. And you take a look around the league, it's no longer can you win with an average quarterback. You need a dynamic thrower, a dynamic runner of the ball. And it's simple as that. You build around that. You take a look at all these guys that are succeeding. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. And I know people want to say that he fell off. You know, he's having a learning curve this year, and it's going to happen. But if you actually watch the games, you understand the kind of talent that Patrick Mahomes is. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks still in the league right now. He's just having a little bit of a down year. They curved him a little worse, playing 2 deep safeties. But back to my point, you take a look at these quarterbacks all around. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson when healthy. All these guys are dynamic throwers and runners of the football. The only anomaly is Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. Other than that, you take a look. Ryan Tannehill, even Ryan Tannehill's a little mobile. Is he the greatest of runners? No, but he's even a little mobile. You need a guy that can use his legs and is good with his arm as well. That's what you need in this league. It's no longer okay to be an average quarterback. You need a well above average quarterback. You need an elite quarterback to win in this league.
I'm on the Russell Wilson train. So Sherry, I think it's Sherry, asks, most heartbreaking Eagles playoff loss. This one for me is very simple because
2013.
I was a kid.
The Saints.
And I mean, it that sucked because I remember exactly where I was at. I was at the Chickies and Pete's on the Boulevard. It was freezing. I I was about to go to the game, but it was like 15 degrees. I was like, you know what? Let me just go to Cheekies and Pete's. I was watching with my buddies. Then after we lost the game, I like slipped on ice.
Oh my God.
So that was pretty bad. I had to drive down to Atlantic City too, so that was fun. But no, the most heartbreaking playoff loss for me is a very random one. Because I was young, it was my second year, well, my third year as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but my really second year of knowing what was going on, and I followed the team religiously that year. The 2003 loss to the Carolina Panthers. I thought that year we were set up to win because going up against Jake Delhomme at home, I didn't think Jake Delhomme was that good of a quarterback, and I didn't think that team was that good. Their best player was Musa Muhammad. I didn't think they were that good. And, I mean, going into that game, Donovan McNabb, coming off of that loss against Tampa Bay and the one against the Rams the year before, you thought he was going to have the fire and passion to win that game. And then all of a sudden he breaks his hand. I think it was his hand or his foot. I forget which one it was. He breaks his hand, and then we're stuck with Coy Detmer for the last 2 quarters. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like, it was just like, to me, that was the most heartbreaking Eagles loss. To me. Not even the Super Bowl. I thought that was the most heartbreaking loss. Because
for me, it was the Saints game in 2013 because that was the year that Nick Foles had the outstanding year. At 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, went into that game feeling confident, and David Ankers did something none of us expected, missed 2 field goals that could have easily won us the game. Now, I'm not blaming David Ankers. He had a lot going on surrounding that game, but it was just a tough, heartbreaking loss because for me, that was one of those years that I felt this could be it. This is magical. Every single button pushed, every single throw thrown was just something that was reminisce of something that could potentially be amazing down the stretch,
Who won the Super Bowl that year?
Oh, man.
Because that'll go based off of what you just said. Like, would they have really won the Super Bowl? Now, I agree with what Loopy said. That was another tough one. The one where Vic threw it to Tramon Williams in the back of the end zone. It still kills me to this day because the Green Bay Packers went on to win the Super Bowl that year. We had such a quality season that year with Michael Vick rejuvenating his career, looking the best he did at the quarterback position throughout his career that one year. And I felt that year we could have really won the Super Bowl. Like, I really do. That was another tough one. That's probably number 2 for me, honestly. And then number 3 was 08. Because 08, I'm not going to say that I was checked out per se before we got in to the wild card game. I'm not going to say I was checked out, but I saw everything as kind of a bonus when we got in because I didn't expect us to get into the playoffs. I didn't think the Raiders were going to beat Tampa Bay. I didn't think the Texans were going to lose to the Chicago Bears. And I thought we could have beat the Dallas Cowboys, but all 3 things had to happen. Then we got in and it's like, oh, we're playing with house money. We beat the Vikings on the road. Then we beat the Super Bowl champion Giants. And I'm like, wow, this could actually happen this year. All of a sudden, we go to a 9-7 team in the Arizona Cardinals at their house because they had the tiebreaker because they obviously won the division. And they beat us. Like, they opened up the game. It was worse. They opened up the game kicking the shit out of us at halftime. All of a sudden, we come all the way back. It looks like we're going to go face the Steelers in the Super Bowl, and then they come back to beat us. It was a kick in the dick. Like, it really was. But that was probably number 3 in my book because it was like you're playing with house money at that point. The Saints beat the Vikings. I don't think we would have won the NFC Championship game. I disagree with that. I thought the Vikings were better than the Saints. I really do. Like, I understand what you're saying. But I thought Vikings that year were better than the Saints. I think it would have ended the same way, honestly. Oh, what really sucks? Being a Vikings fan. How bad was that in 2010? Oh, that's what it was, 2010, I think, where Brett Favre threw off of his back foot across the field, and the Saints intercepted it to win the game. Like, that would have sucked. I would have been so pissed off. Would the Eagles have beaten the Steelers? Yep, I think they would have. I don't think the Steelers were that big of a threat. I think they would have. Because that was Dawkins last year, and he knew it. Saints were not that good that year, I guess. But yeah, I mean, do we have time for one more phone? Wow, we're at an hour and a half. Yo, what's up, Anthony Serrano? How you doing, buddy? So Zach, you want to reply to any of the stuff that we just talked about?
I agree with most of it.
Most of it.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I hear you. I mean,
I do think it could have potentially turned out different if we played the Saints as opposed to the Vikings. I think the Vikings were coming off of a high. They were looking ahead. They could be the first team to host the Super Bowl. Obviously, we know Tampa Bay did that and won it, but the Vikings had a chance before that, and they were coming off the high with a miracle win against the Saints. And I think the Eagles just happened to get a good time to catch them. And, that pick six is really what turned it on. And then Nick Foles got hot, and the rest is history.
I've never heard the stadium that loud, and I was there. I've never heard the stadium that loud when that happened.
Yeah, that pick six was special.
That game was over. Do you hate the Minnesota Vikings? No, I don't. I actually think the Minnesota Vikings and their fans are actually pretty nice.
Do people hate the Minnesota Vikings other than the NFC North?
They hate us for some reason. I don't know why. I don't hate the Minnesota Vikings.
It's like saying you hate the Jacksonville Jaguar fans.
Yeah, like what the hell?
Yeah.
There's no reason to. Like who could hate this? Who could hate that? I mean, it's so cheesy.
But effective.
Yeah, but yeah, okay. You go into the Rutgers game? Nah, I won't be. I've kind of given up on the season. I know I'm a bad fan right now, but once they win, I'll be back.
That's so terrible.
I don't care. Listen, I've forgot more Rutgers losses than you remember. All right, I'm just so sick of losing.
I remember the McCourty twins. That's it.
Yep, that's about it. Nope. Brian Leonard, can't forget him. Ray Rice, can't forget him. Mike Teal, can't forget him.
You want to forget Ray Rice, though.
No, I don't. I still don't. Ray Rice was Rutgers' legend. Packers and Vikings fans hate each other. I mean, they should.
That's what I said. Outside of NFC North, who hates the Vikings?
Yep. And you know who else the Rutgers had? Kenny Britt.
Oh, my God.
Such a good dynamic player.
But what about Dorial Green Beckham?
Oh, yeah.
That's a great player.
Absolutely. My friend loved Dorial Green Beckham. What were my thoughts? I was too young. I was like, wow, the Eagles lost. That was probably like one of my first games I've ever seen as an Eagles fan. I was like, wow, they lost. But yeah, I mean, going back on it, if I was really invested into that team, that probably would have been a tough one. That would be number one, honestly. Because you close out the vet, that piece of shit stadium, in such a heartbreaking defeat.
My toughest playoff loss. 99. Miracle in the Meadowlands. No, I'm just kidding. The Titans-Bills game with the forward lateral, that was a tough loss to watch in general.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to heartbreaking Eagles losses, there's a lot of them. I mean, they're more stick out than others. Why do many people hate MetLife? I have a good reason for it. Number one, it cost $1.6 billion to make. That stadium's not worth $1.6 billion. That's more money than the World Trade Center cost to rebuild. Number two, it looks like a stack of CDs. All right, let's be real. Let's call it what it is. Number three, it's a dump. It's a new stadium, but it's a dump. All right, there's nothing good about it. Number four, it lacks sound. Number five, it lacks vision. So there's 5 reasons why people hate MetLife, and those are reasons why I don't like it.
I love it because I can get front row seats for $100.
Yeah, I mean, both teams suck too. Jets and Giants fans hate it so much. I mean, they should. It stinks.
Most favorite Eagles victory outside of the Super Bowl?
My most favorite?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy. You know which one it is.
Mine is the Deshaun Jackson walk-off punt.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the obvious one. I mean, I'll go one that's not so obvious. When we beat the Patriots in 2015. I was there.
Was that when we had the kick return interception return and every other return.
Yep. Yeah, that was Chips last year.
Everything that could go right did go right.
Sammy Sleeves. Yep. I was at that game. Good ass win last Sunday. Yeah,
Monday Night Massacre, that was a good one against the Washington football team.
That was a good one. Nitro, I feel we should rest and beat a few games. He doesn't look healthy. He's not healthy. He has a meniscus problem. But they're 6-2 and they're rolling, so I can't really say anything. Do you think the Giants have the worst future in the NFC East? I still think the Skins do. Yeah. If I'm being completely honest with you.
Who the hell are the Skins?
I mean,
the football team.
Yeah, I guess. I still think they do. I think the football team does. I think with the owner that they have, he's not going to go away. No one likes him. I still think that they have the worst future in the division. If you're going to pay that much money, like Nitro said, at least give it some color. It's all great. It's New York City. I mean, it's not New York City. It's New Jersey, but it's still the same thing. But all right, hot take. What's your hot take? And then we got to get out of here because I know Zach needs to go to sleep.
I hate hot takes.
I love hot takes. So
3 quarterbacks will still be drafted in the first round. That's my hot take.
Do you like hot cakes though?
No, I don't like pancakes. Yeah. Not a pancake fan. But that's my hot take. 3 potential NFL quarterbacks will be taken in the first round of the NFL draft this year, no matter what.
Okay. 3 in the first round.
3 in the first round.
I'll get the no way.
Hey, I didn't say top 10. I just said 3 in the first round.
There's not 3 good enough ones to go in the first round. Thoughts on
need to be. You just need to find desperate teams.
Thoughts on Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. Whatever. Do you think we could win 7 games? Possible. If we play like we did on Sunday, yeah. Win the game this Sunday. I'm supposed to. I just don't know anymore. I don't know if I want to go. I'm being honest with you. And plus, I have a post game show to do with Zach. Do you expect Dallas in the 09 wildcard game? Did you expect it to be? No, I didn't, because the week before that we got killed by them in the same stadium. So I didn't think
get killed for my hot take now.
You don't like pancakes?
I don't like pancakes because there's a story behind them.
All right, waffles or pancakes?
Waffles.
Get the
because if you let me get to my story, this one time I wasn't feeling that great, but I went out to breakfast anyways, and I got pancakes with strawberry and everything else on top of it, and it just got really soggy, cold, and wet. And when I was sick, it just did not hit the stomach well. And ever since then, I just couldn't eat pancakes because there's something that you need to eat hot and fresh or not at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you eat it hot and fresh. Like, if you get it from the diner, you eat it immediately. You don't let it sit there in syrup. Like, it's common sense. Hot take. Bacon smells better than it tastes.
I can't smell, so I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, right now I can't taste, so. Nitro, who's your least favorite Eagles player ever? Ever? It's easy. Mike McMahon. A quarterback out of Rutgers. Coincidentally.
Hot take. Tim Tebow.
Really?
Not because Tim Tebow, just because of the fans that go along with Tim Tebow.
Yeah, it was funny. Tim Tebow went to the Broncos, and there was like this family of 5 that all had the same jersey. It was funny as hell. And they went into Tony Luke's. I don't eat scalloped potatoes. Where did scalloped potatoes come to the equation?
From pancakes to scalloped potatoes. I make some homemade scalloped potatoes. I learned how to make them, and now they're actually pretty good. I'll eat them. It just take a while to cook.
I mean, listen, if I'm being realistic, it's Mike McMahon, but I'm not. I don't like Wentz either. $2 super chat. Thank you so much from a Green Bay fan. Do y'all think we are gonna win with
Jordan Love?
What is that?
Jordan Love.
Oh, Jordan Love. Yes, I do. Reason being is because the Chiefs stink. And this sets up Jordan Love's future with the Packers. Because if Jordan Love plays good and Aaron Rodgers is outie after this year, it would give them confidence. So I think this sets them up, and I think Green Bay is a better team. I really do. I think you're going to win with Jordan Love without a problem, honestly, because Patrick Mahomes does not look the same. Sorry, I'm not undercooked them. I voted never eat.
All right, here's my hot take on food. You really want my hot take?
All right, let's hear it.
Wendy's new French fries are garbage.
Oh, they are 100%. They taste like shit.
I friggin' hate that they changed them. Garbage. We actually didn't feel like cooking, so we ended up going to McDonald's. But we thought about Wendy's, and I'm like, nope. They changed their fries. Garbage. Not going.
Yeah, no, horrible. I'd rather eat Burger King fries. Like I don't even eat fast food anymore.
Yeah, I don't like Burger King fries either.
I lost 5 pounds since last week, Zach.
Gotta stop eating fast food. I gotta.
I've been doing the HIIT training. Asshat. Yeah, but he's also young. Don't make fun of his brother. I think soda is disgusting. It is disgusting, but I have a Coca-Cola. I enjoy a Coca-Cola once every month.
That's kind of a hot take.
Soda's disgusting?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I don't drink soda, but it is kind of a hot take because many Americans drink soda.
But it is disgusting.
It is.
It's all sugar. It is disgusting.
Especially when you get it from fast food places, it hits so much differently.
Yeah, the syrup, gross. But yeah, guys, this was a great show. I had a lot of fun. Really picked up towards the end. We went off topic a little bit, but sometimes good shows go off topic. But yeah, we will be back on Sunday right after the game. It's going to be around 7:30, I believe, because it's a 4 p.m. start. Whether I'll be at the game, I don't know. I'll make it work either way. But if I'm at
After
the game,
I'm only coming on with you if we talk nothing but 2018 Super Bowl victory.
Oh yeah, totally. We'll do it. You know me, I could go for hours. But if I'm at the game, this is an update. If I'm at the game, the show probably won't be until 8:15 because I have to get home. I have to pour water on my face because I'm dead after those games. But if not, it'll be right after the game. So that's the plan, and hopefully Zach is with that plan. If not, it might be a solo show. I don't know, but it's
I'll
definitely
be around on Sunday.
Perfect then. We got a time.
Someone actually likes the new Wendy's fries. Ugh.
Wait, who? Oh, Jamar.
Come on, Jamar. I was just starting to like you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I haven't had Wendy's fries in 2 months. I try to stay away from fast food. I haven't eaten Taco Bell since I got food poisoning. That used to be my favorite.
Taco Bell?
Yeah, and then I got food poisoning, and it was bad. I thought I had COVID, but it was food poisoning.
Everything's COVID.
Yeah, everything's pretty much COVID today. But with that said, guys, do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Share
Make homemade French fries. Those are the best.
Homemade French fries?
Homemade French fries. You'll never want to go back to anything other than homemade French fries once you have them.
You got to peel them yourself, right?
Peel them, cut them, slice them, fry them. The best.
Yes, sir. All right. With that said, we are out of here. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your support every single week. And we will be back on Sunday. With that said, go Birds. Hopefully they win. And we are out of here.